We need to find the value of this particular expression, provided alpha and beta are the complex cube roots of unity. We know that the complex cube roots of unity are given by 1 omega and omega squared. That means here in our case, we can consider omega to be alpha and omega squared to be equals to beta. Now, immediately it follows that if we take the sum of the roots, so that's a 1 plus omega squared, or 1 plus alpha plus beta, this is equals to 0. And if we take the product of the roots, which is omega cubed or simply alpha times beta, that value is equals to 1. We'll use these facts. So let's rewrite a given expression. So we have alpha raised to the power of 4. We have considered alpha to be equals to omega. So we have omega raised to the power of 4. Then we have beta. So beta is omega squared. So we have omega squared whole raised to the power of 4 plus 1 divided by alpha times beta. So alpha is omega and beta is omega squared. So this gives us omega raised to the power of 4 plus omega raised to the power of, so 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 over omega raised to the power of 3. Now let's find out the value of omega raised to the power of 4. So omega raised to the power of 4, that's equals to omega cubed times omega. The reason why I use omega cubed times omega, that's because omega cubed, we know this value is equals to 1. So this leaves us with omega. So omega raised to the power of 4 is the same as omega, and omega raised to the power of 8. So this can be also expressed as omega 4 raised to the power of 4 whole squared. Just now we obtained that this omega raised to the power of 4 is omega. So we have omega squared. Right. So this is the simplified form of omega raised to the power of 8. So let's replace this value here. So here we have omega. Omega raised to the power of 8 will be omega squared and omega cube. Omega cube, this value is equals to 1. So we have 1 divided by 1, which is simply 1. Now we have 1 plus omega squared, and we know that the sum of the roots equals to 0. So this will be 0. And hence we can say that if alpha and beta represents the complex cube roots of unity, then the value of this particular expression, alpha raised to the power of 4 plus beta raised to the power of 4 plus 1 over alpha beta, this will be equals to 0.